I'm Margaret Ann Windsor. Excuse me, and I was kidnapped in 41, born in 39. My father's Edward VIII, King Edward VIII. He really never abdicated. He was forced out with character assassination in 1936. And same year that Roosevelt, a Jew, was president, of course, and he appointed Joe Kennedy, JFK's father, ambassador to England for the sole purpose of taking out my father. And my father never married Wallace Simpson. She married an imposter pretending to be my father. And the truth has never been told as of today, except by a few people, a few videos, and that I've seen. They're still rolling, especially with Meghan Markle marrying Harry. Now, I'm going to leave this there because I've tried to put up here about my kidnapping, about me writing a book, about mind control murders, about all the hideous. Well, I haven't been able to put half of it up there that was done to me and my sons because of our names, because of who kidnapped us, the Illuminati, your Freemasons, the global government that came into power when they took out my father and then kidnapped me. And I am heir to the British Crown, the legal. The minute I was born, my father had made arrangements through channels legal that made me Queen of England when I was born, or his heir, and I was born well, just a couple of years after he drew up those papers and had to leave. And the Illuminati installed George VI, Elizabeth's father. They're all illegal. The whole lineage is illegal, and that's Harry and Meghan and William and Kate and Charles and whoever, and Elizabeth and Philip. They've all known the truth. And I don't know. I'm assuming Meghan. I don't know if she does or not, because they would have to do her a little bit like Diana. They would say, we just don't talk about it, just in case somebody did happen to walk up and ask her. Now, I put up here about, and just recently and over in the past, about the Watergate tapes, 18.5-minute gap, which is where Henry Kissinger, who was Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense, was on the tape, and it was subpoenaed, and he was going to have them at a clinic there that I've described. In fact, I just put the video up again. A lobotomy on me. If my father, I don't know, they took him out. If he had anything, my mother was Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, Windsor. So I don't know if they had money, but the British didn't cross their palms in ways of treaties, in ways of many ways, money-wise and other. So I lay there. I'd been drugged, and I've just put this up. Victor Gonzalez, a so-called doctor there in Atlanta, he's still there, I think. After all this and the crimes committed against me, and I'm talking about ongoing from the day, two years after my birth, they put me there in Alabama. And I'm not going to go into that again. I put it up. And, the crimes are so hideous. But what I wanted to relate it to here is Martin Luther King and Reverend Andrew Young were a part of this mess. They knew about my kidnapping, and they're the very people that were supposed to be for civil rights. I haven't had any. It's been horrifying, and I sit here today afraid that somebody can come up to my door, and I've done nothing wrong. I've told the truth. And Anastasia was killed, and it's the way she was killed that terrifies the heck out of me, that they can just come in and handcuff you and haul you off simply because you're telling the truth. So I wanted to make this comparison. April Fool's Day of 80, after I written the book and tried to get it published on mind control murders, Tesla files, how you can cure an illness or create it, way back in 1930. The files were stolen, but anyway, I'm not going to go into that again. You can program people to kill, and in any manner. You can program a whole army and probably close to the whole world right now. This was back in 76 till 80 when I was almost killed, April Fool Day, which is so hideous. There's no way I should have walked out of it, but my life is in my children's. What was done to Mark and Scott, who are heirs after me, are so hideous and mean. Not one word other than what I've told on here and on Facebook that I know of the truth has ever been told. Larry Flint of Hustler Magazine was shot back in October. I'm sorry, it was October when I came here, and Roanoke and my mom and dad were still alive then and married to each other, I might say. The double and Wallace were dead, and he died in 72, and they're buried where my mom and dad would be buried. How's that? So this is what I wanted to get down, and I'm going to skip because I sit here scared to death. I really am. For instance, the wrestler in South Jersey, I believe this was in his school. I thought it was for an Olympic, but he's all over the press. That's my point. Your media is controlled by the Illuminati have covered this over and over in the last few days, and the empathy and the blacks and the whites and everybody coming forth to support him. My God, they cut his dreadlocks off because that was a rule that you couldn't go out in the wrestling. So he either made the choice to cut them off or not wrestle. So obviously he made the choice to let him cut it. Now all this over it. And here's just a couple of the comments. You can Google some of them in the press, NBC, ABC, CBS, you got it, the locals who all know who I am. They have since I came here in 86 and probably before. Okay, he lost his dreadlocks, reminded someone of the Nazis, how they humiliated the Jews. And that was by, I think, Mike Frankel. And as a Jewish kid, he was raised in Israel. And he was obsessed with the Holocaust. Well, I won't go into the atrocities. I won't go any further on that. It gets too long. You can probably Google it if you're interested in hearing that about parents of the wrestler forced to cut dreadlocks speak out. Son's dreadlocks speak out. New Jersey school, I can't read my own writing here. Oh yeah, New Jersey school district won't compete in events officiated, I don't know right now, by referee who forced the wrestler to cut his dreadlocks. So it's outrageous over that. And then I want to put well, I don't know why that cab's going up and down here. Anyway, excuse me. The other thing that's going on right now, among all the other things that have been put up, not one word, it's been deleted, is nothing against these two children. It's the background on it. But the fact that they are up at the border and coming across, and the two children died. They come from across out of Mexico into the States, and the two children died recently. And not that that's not a horrible thing, the horrible thing that they're having to look for a home. I think but it's all over the news. And when I think of my ongoing hell, and I'm almost 80, what happened to my mom and dad, and specifically to my sons, Mark and Scott, it's such a hell of a story, a hell of a crime, ongoing. How on earth plenty of people could have done this. I've not seen one decent thing written. Nothing. I mean, this is just on and on with me begging, going to the social services, going to here. I'm even afraid for the law to pull up out here. And you have to go back if you cared to. Anybody did. And what really happened to me, Jack Hartsfield, I'm going to reference him. I met him when I was almost killed April Fool Day of 80. I shouldn't have walked away from that. And I even worked for the district attorney there in 1980, Fred Simpson, the Madison County DA. Now, they tried to kill me again after I worked for him. That was Lina Dempsey, mother of the twins, where they put me when they kidnapped me. JFK was a part of it, and the Kennedys and the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, a whole bunch, but JFK actually helped put me there and gave me the twins named Peggy when they were killed by their mother. They were born out of wedlock. The Dempseys covered it up because she would have faced the gas chamber in Alabama, and they covered it up so they were a party to the whole mess, so they would have faced criminal charges. Anyway, the real Peggy, was killed about a week to 2 weeks before I was put there. So this was orchestrated and already in place what was going to happen. So I'm going to leave it here because there's all kinds of things that's happened in between when they kidnapped me, the Lindbergh child. Not that that wasn't really important, but they've always told that. How many things have happened, and not once have they told my real name. I have suffered things in my children that are unbelievable. And I have been told by people right to my face, I don't care. Get away from them. They know what I'm telling is the truth, and I was telling about mind control murders too. They wanted me just away from them. That I have been told to my face so many times, we just don't care. Now then, if you could see, I'm not even going to put it up again. I'm not. Maybe I hope it's all told, but then what? My life, I don't know if my children are alive or dead. I'm sitting here making this video, and it's so easy for someone to do exactly what they did to Anastasia. And let me tell you, her husband was a professor at the University of Virginia. Manahan professor. They had a home. It blatantly happened, and I'm not even going to say it again because I sit here because of a few things that's happened, and it scares the hell out of me. And I wish to God I had a way out of this and my children. I listen to how I'm here in this country, and I've got a few people on YouTube that have been very kind to me, especially the last 3 months, I'll say. But other than that, and a few people on Facebook, but there are also the same people on YouTube that are on YouTube that have helped some, and I appreciate it very much. When I say some, I don't mean it didn't mean a lot to me, and they, it was nice thing they did. So if you ever hear the names of the people involved in it, it's supposed to be civil rights, social services. I've begged. I've been made a pauper. You will know all the other crimes that I'm ashamed because I didn't do it. They were done to me. And then to my children, what was done to them. It's so hideous. And here your media can pick up on these two instances and make this media on and on how dreadful it was. And I'm not going back in the past and over the years and years of my life what they've done and put up, and that was news. But hey, this is not news. It's not news about my dad to correct history. I guess not. It hasn't been done, has it?